What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker.
I'm Rahimi.
And today on The Great Debaters, we're going to talk about some Public Enemy, Fear of a Black Planet. Check it out, y'all. Alright, Amir. So Public Enemy is one of the best rap groups of all time. I think people that have listened to a lot of rap and are well versed in all of its different eras would agree with that. But for those that don't get it as much information about Public Enemy, we're here to debate and discuss one of their songs that I think is one of the more interesting songs they ever did, and it's on the Fear of a Black Planet album, which came out in 1990. It was their third album, and this song, Burn Hollywood Burn, was one of their singles. It wasn't the biggest song, that would be Fight the Power, and it wasn't one of the first videos that came out because we had 911 as a joke, we had Brothers Gonna Work It Out, and then later Burn Hollywood Burn came, but that doesn't diminish its potency nor the video's potency. So Amir, we start off with Chuck D, then we get to Ice Cube, then we go to Big Daddy Kane. So for you, we got three of the all-time greats on the song, so it's just an amazing lineup. And back in 1990, this was very rare to have three phenomenal artists that aren't in the same group on a song together. And then also, this was the beginning of the early stages of the marriage and working with people from different regions and from even to a large degree different record companies, with them all being on different record companies. Public Enemy was on Def Jam, Ice Cube was on Priority, and Big Daddy Kane was on Cold Chill and Warner Brothers. So there's a lot of things going on in this song that made it very interesting from a creative and from a business and from an execution standpoint. So to start off the song, we got Chuck D coming on. So Amir, Chuck D, break it down. What makes Chuck D's verse to kick off Burn Hollywood Burn interesting?
Chuck D, baby, given exactly what I thought he would give. This song, seeing the lineup, was just kind of one of those dream come trues. You wipe your eyes, you pinch yourself kind of things.
Okay.
I can only imagine being in 1990 how that would have been.
It was astonishing.
Because I heard this years ago. When I say years, I mean 7-8 years ago. So, but oh my God. So Chuck D, he does what he does. He does great. I love how they're actually now talking about the movie business,
right,
and Hollywood. Chuck D being on the other side of the United States, but obviously still seeing the effects of how black people are portrayed in the films, and the concept was just perfect. And I think he casted a good cast for it, particularly Ice Cube, being especially in this kind of field of what he talks about, and even Big Daddy Kane as well.
Shout out to Posse.
So, Chuck D, he does well, and I love how he starts off the song.
Yeah, I also think too, this is an example because Chuck D, especially up to this point in Public Enemy, unless Flavor Flav has a little bit of interplay, Chuck D is usually on the song by himself. So I think it's clearly less time on the mic than he normally has. But I also liked, and his wordplay and how his phraseology is so distinctive and different. But then also, like on this, I want to check out a movie, but it'll take a black one to move me.
Yep.
Like that type of wordplay.
That lyric.
I think people forget how potent Chuck D is and was, but still remains, because Chuck D still, Public Enemy still releases music, and so does Chuck. And when you really pay attention to what's going on, he still got it. So I always thought that Chuck D started off the song phenomenally and gave us a great, concept. It's a great way to think of things, and then it leads the way to Ice Cube, and this is the first of their collaborations leading into what would be America's Most Wanted. And it also shows a lot of people, like myself included, when I heard that Cube was leaving NWA, and I talk about this in my book, The History of Gangster Rap, a lot of people, myself included, I don't think understood what Ice Cube brought to NWA, because MC Ren, Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, on the mic especially, were so good on Straight Outta Compton and the NWA and the Posse material and the other songs they released, that Ice Cube, he was a super phenomenal artist, but in the mix of the group, to me, I thought he was amazing, but he also didn't like stand out so far beyond everyone else because they all were amazing. I thought MC Ren was phenomenal. I thought Eazy-E was phenomenal, and then we got Easy Does It essentially at the same time. So I didn't look at it as this like epic departure, whereas when you see it on Burn Hollywood Burn and you're hearing him with Big Daddy Kane and with Chuck D, then it was kind of like, oh, okay, Ice Cube can bring it basically in any circumstance. It's not just with, for those that know the CIA, but then also with NWA. I was like, okay, this Ice Cube dude, like, he's dope, as I thought, but it just kind of helped set the stage for me to appreciate America's Most Wanted maybe even more than I would have otherwise, but that's that. For you, what did you think of Ice Cube's verse?
You know, it's so interesting hearing you talk about this because when I had heard this song, I'd probably heard almost all of Ice Cube's discography, but for you, it was more so after the CIA's, the NWA and the Posse and Straight Outta Compton, and then you hear this for Hear America's Most Wanted. So that's like insane. You're getting to learn and know one of the greatest rappers of all time as he's being developed, which is just such a different set of eyes, right? Ice Cube, the way he starts off the song, is down with the PE. So simple, his voice amazing, and Chuck D also has one of the best voices in rap. I love how he comes in to go back to that, but I love how they're in the movie theaters, in the music video as well, and then Ice Cube. What I love also about this song, and I've said it before in previous videos, is how when rappers will, instead of saying something, you'll hear what they're talking about being put in the instrumental with "shoot the motherfucker," you hear the gunshot, and then going into Big Daddy Kane. And Ice Cube, his verse was noticeably shorter than everyone else's. I think his was around 8 bars or so, and Chuck D and Big Daddy Kane were closer to the 16 length. Ice Cube came and went, but with power. And
I agree.
It was, his voice, and to just see them all collab before America's Most Wanted with Cube and Chuck, it was definitely one of those things where I'm just so happy it happened in hip-hop history.
And then, moving on to Big Daddy Kane as the final verse before we get into the chatter that ends the song. One, I didn't know what Big Daddy Kane was going to do on the song once I realized that he was on it, because while Long Live the Kane and It's a Big Daddy Thing have a lot of political music on it, and a lot of political songs and amazing insight and social commentary, I also didn't expect to hear him being so political or even on a Public Enemy song, because those songs, while great album cuts typically, other than maybe Lean On Me, his singles weren't that. You had to be a Big Daddy Kane fan, and you had to know the Young Gifted and Black type of songs to know that, or I'll Take You There, like these type of records that were album cuts of Big Daddy Kane's, but that were awesome songs, but they weren't, the ones that defined him other than maybe Lean On Me. So for me, Big Daddy Kane did a phenomenal job on the song, not only as the last verse, but then I think he really put into context the pain, disappointment, and specifically specifying a lot of the roles, a lot of the imagery with the Aunt Jemima stuff. There was so much going on with what Big Daddy Kane said, and it was, to me, arguably the least expected one to do it at that high of a level of the three. Not that
I agree.
Just because that's what Public Enemy was known for, and we had seen Ice Cube being political with NWA, so Big Daddy Kane had done it on his own and done it extremely well, but to do it at such a high level alongside Chuck D and Ice Cube, I thought was phenomenal.
And you really summed up so much of what I was going to say. I didn't expect Big Daddy Kane to go as into the theme as he did. Giving examples, I really like how he says the term jigaboo in there.
Right.
He mentions Aunt Jemima. He mentions the perm. He wants to see more women getting lawyer roles, but that's not happening. Black women getting lawyer roles in a film, and it's just so good. And then he talks about Spike Lee.
Well, that was going to be another point. The thing that I also liked was he approached this unfortunate, disappointing, racist, terrible situation that existed in Hollywood, but also presented not only a solution, but an empowering, positive solution of, well, let's empower ourselves and do our own movies like Spike Lee. Yeah. And I thought, Fight the Power obviously is on Fear of a Black Planet, which was another amazing tie-in just to the whole song and to what Public Enemy stood for. And it just showed Big Daddy Kane was able to take the topic and make it not only great for the song, but then make it into something bigger that talked about the overall history of blacks in cinema, which I thought was astounding. And he did it in such the Big Daddy Kane way. It was so smooth, yet rugged, yet amazing lyrically. It was just, it was just amazing. So, Amir, those are the 3 verses, and like I said, we have the chatter at the end, Black Caesar at the crib, let's go check that out. And I just thought it was these 3 dudes that in their own way had lived, experienced, and seen all these atrocities going on in America, and were here trying to present ways to circumvent this oppressive system and to do it in a celebratory way while bemoaning the negativity that was going on in the mainstream film world, in the Hollywood world, which I thought was great.
Yep, and Flavor Flav saying he was going to play the controversial piece, and then he was like, "Oh no, you're just going to be
like
doing
Huey P. Newton, Ace Rap Brown."
Yeah,
no, like, not that.
Not that. No, you're going to be juggling and doing all that crap, and this genius, man.
And this is production, man. This is what makes songs great. It's like Burn Hollywood Burn has a chorus, but then you bring in the Flavor Flav, like you're saying, and now it's a theatrical song, ironically, but it's more than just a song. It means something to you, and it lasts because it has these other elements, and it brings in so much to it as opposed to just chorus, verse, and then maybe somebody talks at the end or they just let the beat ride. Like, no, this is the upper tier of production, the upper tier of lyricism, the upper tier of execution, the upper tier of collaborations, and making something, going from one concept and just making it astonishing.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
So, Amir, looking at Public Enemy's Burn Hollywood Burn featuring Ice Cube and Big Daddy Kane, who has the best verse and why?
I think Big Daddy Kane has the best verse. And as you stated and as I stated, the examples he put, given the history, giving solutions, the why can't black women or black men have any roles like a lawyer or anything of that nature.
Yeah.
It's powerful, and then his flow was also great, and just everything was. Big Daddy Kane and nailed it. Chuck D obviously did great. Ice Cube did great. Big Daddy Kane took it home and won it for me.
I agree, man. I think Big Daddy Kane, in a song that's so powerful, and Ice Cube and Chuck D did a great job with theirs. I think Big Daddy Kane is just so phenomenal on this song for the reasons I mentioned earlier, and the fact that he wasn't known for being political. Like I said earlier, he was political and had that in his music, but that's not something that he was known for. So to be able to show the world on this big platform that he was able to deliver this social commentary, historical context, societal context, inequities, all these things that he brought to the table and did it at such a amazing way, I just thought was phenomenal. And I also think on Fear of a Black Planet, it's one of the best verses and one of the best songs on the album, which is saying something because this album is phenomenal. If you haven't listened to it in a while, go back and check it out. And if you're not familiar with it, definitely go listen to Fear of a Black Planet. But it's just Big Daddy Kane, man. Astonishing. So that's what it is, y'all. Make sure you hit us up on Unique Access and Rapping and Snacking. Let us know what you think. Like, subscribe, and share. I'm Soren Baker.
Amir Rahimi.
The Great Debaters, y'all. Public Enemy. Fear of a Black Planet. Burn. Hollywood burn.
Be sure to check out The History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the DOC, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
It would be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Raps with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the street. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.